What's up guys, it's that time of the year again where we speedrun through some of the best IEMs that came out in 2024. And starting under $25, we have the Truth Your Gate, which is an all-rounder. It's the successor to the Hola, and it's a good starter set if you want something that just does everything very, good. It doesn't do anything wrong, it doesn't do anything amazingly either, but for the price, you can get it for around like $15 on sale. Then we also have the Tangzu Wanar Studio Edition. It's actually more vocal-centric now because there's just less bass. The mids, the vocals pop out a little bit more. I personally enjoy it because I love vocals, but it's a clean sounding set. If you like that sound, this is a good choice as well. As for some honorable mentions, first we have the Chu2 DSP. It sounds exactly like the original Chu2, but it just has a USB-C cable now. It does have some small issues when it comes to artifacts, noise floor, some latency issues. It's not gonna get a full recommendation, but it's basically the same as the Chu2, and the Chu2 is very good value-wise. Other honorable mentions would be the KZ EDC Pro if you want a good V-shape IEM at around like 20 bucks. It goes on sale for like $2, so at that price, it is very good value-wise. Even though I don't like KZ, I still would recommend them on sale, which is why they're in the honorable mentions. And then Caster Bass, if you want something like a bassy all-rounder sound, then these are a good option as well. They go on sale for like under 10 bucks. So very good value-wise, but honorable mentions because, well, they're crazy. Then moving under $55, if you want an all-rounder set, we have the Confine Clean. It's basically a mini EW300, not as detailed, but pretty solid for the price. You get another additional tuning nozzle, change the sound to be more bright, more exciting. Then if you want a good vocal set, the Kinera Ignite Beast X is a solid option. It's a little bit more forward when it comes to the upper mids, but it still have like a punchy and well-controlled and rumbly sub bass. On the other hand, if you want something warm and bassy, the Inawaken.Ms are very good. The bass slams hard, it's pretty rumbly, the vocals pop out just enough, and you also get a nice case, very good plating as well. And if you want something that has a more airy presentation, the Tangzu Yuxuanji is a good pick. It looks very scary on the graph with the 8K peak, but you don't really hear it. It just sounds pretty airy, pretty clean, pretty spacious, and it's very unique for what you get for under like 50 bucks. You also have the CCA Trio if you want like a sub bass all-rounder set. It's gonna be a little bit bassier than just balanced, but it's not like bass set at a warm level. It's kind of in between, and it's a good fun presentation. But on the other hand, if you want something like just clean, like kind of neutral, you have the EPZ Q1 Pros, which are basically just a better version of the original 7Hz Zero, a little bit better in the detail and clarity, and overall just a solid recommendation if you want a clean sound. Then lastly, we can't forget about the original RDT10s, which is a value monster, and if you want a planar, this would be the pick. It's an all-rounder sound, it's a little bit bright leaning, it has some planar timbre, but it's very detailed for the price, and it's like 50 bucks. Then moving up under $100, if you want an all-rounder sound, we have the SimGot EW300s. Same with the EA 500LM, but this is just like brighter leaning version of the EW300. It's going to be more bright, more detailed, and there are some variances with the LM, so you do have to watch out for that. But in terms of value, both the EW300 and the LM are just phenomenal for the price. But if you want something unique that scales very well, the Full Explorer is very good. You can find these around like $105 on sale, sometimes lower like $95. It's a relaxing sound at mid volume, but once you give it more volume, the vocals pop out more, everything becomes more immersive, and it just takes you on this musical journey. On the other hand, if you want something more neutral, more clean, more balanced, you have the Tantrum for you, very good build quality, the tuning is pretty smooth overall, and also have switches, so if you want something like even warmer aside from just like a neutral sound, these would be a good pick, gives you variety. But if you want something more exciting and dynamic, the EPC Q5 Pro would be a good pick. It's a slight V shape, it reminds me of a mini EM6L. It's pretty smooth overall, and it's just a fun listening experience if you want something that's like not neutral. The SafeGuard Trio is also a good option if you want something like warm. It maintains some sort of balance while giving you like this warm sound signature. Then on the total opposite, if you just want a clean neutral sound, get the Tangzu Xuanyu, and please do not get the Moondrop Condensed because the Xuanyu sounds basically the same as the Condensed, but it's like 3 times cheaper on sale. And as for some planars, you have the F1 Pros, you can find Klenar, the Kiwiverse Kanta. All of these are solid options. If you want an all-rounder sound, the F1 Pros and you can find Klenar would be a good option. Now obviously they all have some sort of planar timbre. It's a bit light, a little bit sizzly, a little bit bright leaning, typical of a planar set. Then if you want something more exciting, you got the Curious Conta, but I would say this is more of an honorable mention because the treble can be a bit much for some people, but it is very detailed. You also have the Tintin Pros, which is a mini Symphonia meter. It's like bassy, warm, airy. It's a very unique sounding signature. I don't think this is going to be it for everyone, but it is a very enjoyable set. It's a good addition to your collection and a good side grade to the original T10s. Now moving up to under $250 for the best all-rounder sound in terms of pure value. Of course, we have the SimGlass Super Mix 4. It just does everything very well. It's well balanced. You get a good amount of technical performance as well, and you can get on sale for like 120 bucks. On the other hand, what did wow me a bit more was the CKLVX D62, which is also an all-rounder, but it's more dynamic, a little bit more punchier in the bass. It's like a slightly better version of the Super Mix 4. You get the all-rounder sound, but it's just more musical now, and you get great technicalities as well. And I would definitely recommend both the Super Mix 4 and the D62s with some form of like Sankai tips. We also have the Lecture Kanizsa 4 if you want something clean, something slightly airy, slightly treble leaning, a little bit bright, very smooth sounding. It's not gonna be like super engaging, but it's clean, it's clear, it's balanced with like slight air in the treble. As for bassier sets, we have the Zigot Cinco Tres if you want something that's very sub-bass focused but still balanced in the vocals and the treble. It's an all-rounder sound, but with just like more boost in the sub-bass. Whereas the Tashinkos on the other hand is less sub-bass focused, it's more mid-bass focused, it's warmer while being very well balanced in the vocals and the treble. And then if you want something that's like more bass head leaning, you also have the HBB Fat Freak Deuce. Just don't buy it from Fat Freak because of the whole shenanigan, the delays, and just the QC issues. But you know, get it from Linso, get it from anywhere else. The Deuce still does the job, just don't get it for Fat Freak. Then as for some planars, if you want an all-rounder sound, the Timeless 2 is a good option. It has a lot of variety with the nozzles, the treble is smooth, it's not that peaky, it doesn't have that planar timbre, and overall it's just a solid set that's gonna work for most people. Whereas the SimGlass ET142 would be the better pick if you like the original S12s, you like something like brighter, livelier, more technical, more engaging. They're not gonna be as smooth as the Timeless 2, it's more dynamic, and the 2K is gonna rub some people the wrong way for sure. So depending on your preference, either the Timeless 2 or the 142 would be a good pick. However, my personal favorite under 250 would be the Zigot Odysseys, and these are very good with scaling, very immersive, clean, balanced, vocals pop out just enough, instrument layering separation is good, and it just takes you into the music, takes you on a journey, kind of like the Explorer but just cleaner and more detailed version. And then you also have the KE4s if you want like a meta tune IEM, like a warm meta tune IEM. I think the Odyssey is just a better version of the KE4s, but you know, if you want something warmer, the KE4s work as a honorable mention. And then the Dino Quattro is also a good pick if you want a clean and bassy sound, and same with the Origin. I would take the Dino Quattros and the Tantrum Origin over the 5+2 personally, which is why the 5+2 didn't make it. But moving under $400, if you want a clean, balanced sound, the Elysian Pilgrim would be an option. The build quality, the packaging is very good. The technical performance is also solid. There are some QC issues with all Elysian IEMs, but like for a clean sound, it is a pretty good pick. On the other hand, if you want something bassier but still pretty balanced, you have the T Pros. If you want like a thicker, bassier thump, and then you also have the Hype 4s if you want something like more balanced but still bassy and smoother sounding in the treble, versus the T Pros which has more bite in the treble. You also got the SimGlass EM10s if you don't want something as bassy as the Hype 4s or the T Pros, but also not as clean as the Pilgrim. This would be like the right in the middle set for an all-rounder, very technical as well, and you can find these for around $400 to $360 on sale. However, if you're looking for something more dynamic, something more exciting, like a slight V-shaped sound, then you have the Or if you're looking for like a more bass head set that's also still well balanced, you have the HBB Punch. This is the endgame set for most bass heads. It has the texture, it has the balance, it has the technical aspects while giving you that slamming low end. Now, as for honorable mentions, if you want like a clean, balanced sound that has a little bit of a planar sizzle in the treble, you have the Dusk. The issue is that it does have some unit variance. My first unit sounded pretty different from my second unit. Because of that, I'm gonna say it's still a solid option if you want a clean, balanced sound, but just not as good as the Pilgrim to me personally. Then moving up to under $1,000, if you want an all-rounder sound that is smooth, natural, and it's just, you know, does everything very well, it's well balanced, you have the IO Volaire. Now, the first unit I got sounded like Harman 2019, and I wouldn't really recommend that at the price, but the second unit I got, which is I think the newer version, is very good. The sound is more different. You also have the Oracle Mark IIIs for a better bass texture, better bass like tactility. The treble is going to be a little bit more sizzlier. It's going to sound a little bit more like dynamic when it comes to the bass and the treble, and not as, I guess, like smooth, natural as the Volaire, but it is an option as well if you want something that is slightly more dynamic. We also have the hype 10s if you want an all-rounder sound that is more bassy. The bass slams very nice on this. I think it's a little bit better than the Oracle Mark 3s. The treble is a little bit smoother. But speaking of bassier sounds, we have the D-Audio Origin and the Symphonium Titans. The Titans is basically a bass head, slight V-shaped bass head sound. If you want a bass head sound that also a little bit exciting, then the Titans are a pretty solid choice. And then you also have the Origins if you want something that is like more balanced, a little bit more technical, but still very good when it comes to the low end. It's like a more tactile version of the hype 10s in the bass, but not as detailed as the hype 10s. And as for some honorable mentions, we have the Yang Carmen, which is a high volume set that scales very well when it comes to the vocals. So think of the RS5 but like high volume. The vocals are very forward, very intimate, very immersive. This is a very niche set. It's gonna be hit or miss for many people, but it is what I would consider a cult classic. And then you also have the Elysian Noir if you want something that scales very good, kind of like a more technical version of the Explorer. And it's just a little bit too expensive, a little bit overpriced. That's why it's an honorable mention. Otherwise, if it was around like 400, 500 bucks, I probably would have recommended. Then moving past $1,000, and now we are reaching Summit 5 territory. If you want something that is V-shaped, dynamic, exciting, energetic, you have the Symphonium Crimson, which is the direct upgrade to the Estrella. So if you like the Estrella and you want something that's more like technical with more detail, then you have the Crimson, which would be a very fun listen. And then if you want something bassier, you have the Empire Ears Raven. The bass slams very nice, good technicalities, obviously what you expect for $3,000. If you want like a bassy sound, an endgame bassy sound for like hip hop, stuff like that, the Ravens are a very good pick. You also have the Camper CP6226 if you want something that's more all-rounded, less bassy than the Raven, but still phenomenal bass texture, very good rumble when it comes to the vibration in the sub bass. One of the best low end in general. But if you're looking for something more balanced and all-rounded at the same time, the Condensa 12 2024 is a very good pick. Does everything very well, and this is like endgame when it comes to detail and performance. Of course, you also have the Subatomic Storm, but that is 5K, barely a difference in the technical performance. I would say the Subatomic Storm is a little bit better, a little bit more unique, but it is also 5K and it's just, you can't get it anymore. Now, as for some IEMs I would avoid, please do not buy the Moondrop Condense or just like any Moondrop Araya IEMs in 2024. They are very outdated. Like you get the Tangzu Xuanyi, basically the same sound for 60 bucks, which is almost 3 times cheaper. So the only real difference is that the Condense looks nicer and it has better packaging. Sound wise, they sound pretty much the same. The Xuanyu and the EW300 are all going to be better. I would also avoid the Pull-on Anvil because the tuning is not very good and the bone conduction implementation is also not very good. The bass is a little bit too forward, it's too much mid bass. It kind of like the soundstage kind of squishes you in your head kind of feeling, and then the bone conduction driver creates like this like weird peaks and jaggedy feeling to the sound, a little bit unnatural, and like it doesn't actually affect the low end. There's no increase in like the sub bass quality. It's not more like vibrational. And then of course we have the Afua Cantor and the Dunu Brain Damage. Now both of these are very off when it comes to the timbre. The Cantor is shrill, it's fatiguing, it has like pressure buildup. It literally gives me a headache. It's very technical, just like the Brain Dance, but the timbre is very off. Same with the Brain Damage, but it's less shrill. It doesn't give me a headache, but it's just like so sizzly in the timbre, and it's also thin and like lean sounding at the same time. Now you can fix the Brain Damage a bit with a 10 ohm adapter. The Cantor you can't really fix, and it is more expensive. So if you do buy a 10 ohm adapter and Senkai regular tips, I would actually recommend the Dunu Brain Damage. It is more well balanced now, but it is now hard to scale because of the ohm adapter, because the original just sounded like I'm like frying bacon. But yeah, watch out for those 4 IEMs. My voice is again dead after the speedrun. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you again to everyone for this amazing year, for all the support on the Estrella, as well as just the videos in general. Thank you guys so much. Could have done this without you. And happy holidays. Congratulations to the winner of the Estrella and the Nova. Go check out the comments. And we have the Deuce giveaway at New Year's. Stay tuned for that.
Shout out to Rarix Cat, Dom Q, Discal Scotus, B Urak, Mystic Spoon Attack, Walker Standard, User Patrick, Polly J, Mr. Gorillas, Anton Risto, Gis Sang Young, Ed Dunlap, Christopher Jackson, Name, Henry Claudia, Son of a Horse, 777ZK, Ben Thompson, Obi, Treble Well Extended, Wizard, Frickalicious, Andrick, Ricardo, Tapas R, Chucko Norris, Oh Really, Contain Guava Juice Gains, Shren Buck Lee, Nico, Igris, and Forever New. Thank you guys so much for the year.